Hello and welcome to another video, and today I'm going to do a Q&A, which as we all know stands for quavers and summers. So basically I'll be eating quavers whilst wearing revealing underwear. That was a joke, although I do like quavers quite a lot. Okay, so Q&A. I figured it would be cool because I haven't done one in quite a while, and I know you guys like to ask me stuff. You ask me stuff quite frequently, so this gives me like a bit of a clear, like a nice open forum in which to answer those questions. Now, yesterday I think it was, or 2 days ago, I put up a post on Instagram saying I was going to do this Q&A. I gave you a chance to ask some questions. I did say specifically via Instagram because otherwise it gets messy when you've got Facebook and Twitter and Bebo and MySpace and the little notice board in Sainsbury's, so I thought I'd restrict it to Instagram just to make it more efficient in the interest of speed. Now, I'm basing my plans, I haven't looked through the questions yet, but I've got bloody millions, I've got about 140 I think, so my plan is to start a timer, go 15 minutes, that's a reasonable time I think, and then just go from the start, so get through as many as I possibly can. I apologise if I don't get yours in this Q&A, but quite frankly, that's the punishment you have for being slow. So just get more efficient basically in life. I was going to bring Luca in on the action. I was going to get him to answer some questions, but I tried asking him a few and he just completely ignored me. He didn't give me any answer at all, which obviously is incredibly rude, and he's now grounded. So I think he's learnt his lesson. Anyway, I'm going to set my timer. I've got the questions up. Like I said, I haven't read them yet, so if there are any inappropriate ones, I'll just ignore them in an awkward way. Time starts now. So, let's find the questions. Okay, question number 1 is from jtarmani_ifim_UK. How did you and Sez meet? Spelt Sez S-E-Z. That's incorrect, it's S-A-I-R-S. But I know what you mean, and you're quite nice. She comments on a lot of my videos, so I like you. How did we meet? We met, we were friends when we were at school. We've been friends since we were like 14, 15 I think. She basically started following me around like all the time. It got to the point where I had to get a court order, like an injunction, but after a while she just kind of wore me down, and then when you put the drugs in it as well, I couldn't really say no basically. That's a joke. We were friends and then we started going out. Okay, next question. James, but the A of James is a 4, that's quite clever, _C. If it was the last meal you could ever eat, what would be the starter, main course and dessert? Ooh, 6 question marks. Very inquisitive, James. This is a tough one. I mean, this would vary on a daily basis, but right now I'm going to say starter, garlic butter prawns, main, pizza, margarita pizza, a really good one, and dessert, I'm going to say, oh my god, I can't do this. Oh man, either Rolo yogurt things or maybe sticky toffee pudding. I don't know, that's a bad choice. I don't know, something along those lines. Okay, next question from, what is that word? Yarazuyevich. Would you ever compete in a bodybuilding / men's physique show? No, I wouldn't, because I've said this before, I like bodybuilding training, but the competition side of it really doesn't appeal to me. Like, I don't like the idea of the the end product of all the work I've put in being that I stand on a stage in Speedos covered in oil. That just doesn't appeal to me at all. Plus it's very subjective, whereas powerlifting is very objective, which is what I like. DJ Master G 82, that is a pretty cool name. Can you show us exactly what supplements, this is a lot of questions in one, Jesus, come on DJ Master G. Can you show us exactly what supplements you're taking? All of them please. Alright, calm down. For example, the Alpha Men tablets, how many times a day, what are they for? What results are you, blah blah blah. Bloody hell, Greg, come on mate. That's a greedy question. Right, what if you watch my 4 days of eating, particularly like slightly old ones, I show all that stuff in there. Basically, every morning I have 1 glucosamine tablet, 1 alpha men, whatever it's called, tablet, and 1 omega, like fish oil type tablet. That's it. That's once a day and that's it. And then I obviously take protein 3 times a day, which is 1 scoop, and then I take creatine 5 grams once a day in the evening. That's all I take. Lewis Forster 16. How do we become as majestic as you? Lewis, you don't. I'm afraid that's never going to happen, alright? So just end it now. Ethan Abrahams 10. When did you start going to the gym, etc.? I mean, I'm assuming by etc. you mean other gym related activities. I've been, you know, doing bodybuilding, weightlifting, whatever you want to call it, type stuff since I was very young. When I was about 16, my uncle gave me some dumbbells and I was doing like arm curls in my room all the time like an absolute dork. But in terms of actually training specifically for strength or for size or like, as a powerlifter, I've been doing that for like, what, 2-3 years? If you watch my 3-year transformation video, the one that's on the main bit of my YouTube channel, then that explains everything there. Connor Lynch 100. Will it be hard to balance gym, work and a baby? And how will you? I mean, balancing a baby is quite easy because they're really light, so you can literally do it on one hand. Joking. Of course it'll be hard. You know, I'm not stupid. I know it's going to be hard. I'm not naive. I know it will be difficult, but Sayers is very supportive, and I've always had, you know, ever since we've been together, I've always had something that I've done like competitively. So it would be weird if I didn't do that. So it'll be hard, but I will do it. You know, I'm going to fit my training around Luca and that kind of stuff. And if I, you know, worst case scenario, I can cut out some of the bodybuilding hypertrophy stuff just to make sure I get the powerlifting stuff in. But in short, it will be hard, but I will get it done. Don't worry, making videos will still be a priority, and I will still be doing that. Okay, what is that name? Gurjo Tala. I mean, that's just like, you know, when you lean on the keyboard and just press loads of keys. That's what you've done with your name there. Huge, also I feel awkward now, I feel bad. Huge fan. What are your plans for the gym for the next few months? Obviously being busy with the baby and all. Also, are you going to keep bulking as you have been? Congrats again. Thanks, mate. Bulking, no, I'm not going to be deliberately bulking, but to be honest, the last week or so I've been eating a lot of food because we've been inundated with food, presents, gifts. So I've got a lot of stuff in the house, so I've been eating a good amount. So I'm confident I've been at least maintaining, I reckon I've been on at least 5,000 calories, I'd say, possibly more, but I'm not going to be deliberately bulking, I don't think, although, maybe I will, who knows, we'll see. In terms of training, like I said, I'm currently kind of tailoring my schedule around my life. I'm going to start I've started in fact a new training program as of yesterday. I'm still kind of, as I go along, I'm going to make adaptations to suit my life and stuff. But yeah, I am planning basically to continue to get stronger. I want to be an absolute monster, so hopefully down the line that is going to happen. Right, Mas Menino, when are you coming to America? I came last year, mate. I've been there a few times. I want to come over again. I freaking love America. The lifestyle there definitely is well catered to me. We've got friends that live in upstate New York, so we might come over and stay with them again sometime soon. That would be awesome. But yeah. You've missed me, mate. I've already been there. By the way, you're probably the most underrated fitness channel on YouTube. Keep it up. It's not a question, but thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's very nice of you to say so. Daddy Sparks _JC. That's a strange name. How do you structure your compound lifts in terms of sets, reps, and determine the weight you're going to lift for each workout? My God, that is a long-winded question. That is an entire video in itself. Oh, bloody hell. Just watch my training videos, mate, and you'll get an idea of what kind of stuff I do there. Basically, at the moment, I'm squatting, deadlifting, and benching 3 times a week. That's what I'm going to continue to do. That's what works for me. Sets and reps, it's all undulating, and the weight depends on where I am. At the moment, my weights are light because I'm weak, because I've had 2 weeks off, but that will basically progress in a relatively linear fashion. Reese Kirby 94, best post-workout and pre-workout foods. Pre-workout foods, I don't really think about that. I'll eat anything. I obviously don't eat a massive meal before you train. That would be stupid because you're going to feel awful, but it is important to get stuff in. Just some easy carbs I find is good, so like some sweets or some fruit or a bowl of cereal, something along those lines. And then post-workout, doesn't really matter, whatever. Like I personally like to get my food in fairly soon after training, just for convenience sake rather than anything else, but post-workout, you know, it doesn't really matter. Oh, you've asked another question there, Reese Kirby. That's greedy, that's selfish, and I'm going to ignore it. GHLG6, what are the current macros of Lucas bulk? He's on 3,500 calories a day. Sayers doesn't know, but I've been sneaking coconut oil and protein into her food, so he's bulking up pretty nicely. Aber00 key lifts, Abruk lifts, sorry I've misread that, Abruk lifts, but what we've done there is you've used zeros instead of O's. That's quite misleading, so I mean, I'd rather you were honest with me. I could put our cards out on the table and we can both discuss our names openly. Anyway, sorry. Any tips for balancing gym life with parent life when a baby enters the picture? I don't know yet because I've only just, you know, Luke is only 2 weeks old, so I can't really answer that yet, but Ask me again in a few months and I'll tell you. Armstrong with a full stop, just put in there randomly just to keep me on my toes. When's the baby's first powerlifting meet? I don't know. I don't know. I was going to be funny and be like, oh, it's tomorrow, but I don't know. I don't know if I mean, I would like him to, you know, be fit and to train and to be in good shape, but sport-wise, I'm very much like open. I want to see what he likes and what he's good at and what he enjoys, and then we'll see there. Because I mean, let's be honest, there's no money in powerlifting, so from a selfish point of view, I'd like him to be a Formula 1 driver or a golfer or something. Dario_Zinnick, do you think you have great genetics? Smiley face. That's quite an awkward question to answer. I think my genetics are pretty decent. I'm quite happy with my genetics. I wouldn't say they're the best in the world, but I'd say they're above average. Josh, full stop, 0299. Best supplements to help build muscle other than whey? Creatine. Creatine is basically the only supplement that is proven, you know, categorically to work. So creatine. RMT8877 and no profile picture. So that's quite a mysterious account. Ooh. How did you calculate macros? How did I calculate macros? How do I? I mean, with my phone, I'd calculate them like with a calculator, I guess. I mean, if you're asking me what percentages I use, I personally have a relatively high fat carb diet. I don't eat, I mean, I eat a good amount of protein, but probably not as much as other powerlifters, weightlifters, bodybuilders I would have thought. But yeah, I don't track my calories, my macros 99% of the time, so the answer is I don't calculate them. Is Luca the reincarnation of Harambe? Oh, that's quite funny. I mean, he is incredibly hairy and he eats about 30 bananas a day, so yes, probably. Barbell Society, I love these guys. Would you consider having a deadlift party with fellow lifters? Luca's invited. I would love to do that. I've genuinely been thinking for ages that I want to do some kind of like subscribe and meet up, hangout thing where people come and we just all train and just talk to each other and look at each other in the mirror and like just touch each other like this, really in a weird way. But I'm quite good at thinking of things I want to do, but then sometimes I don't do them because I'll get busy, you know. But I would definitely love to do that, guys, and you would 100% be first on my list of invitees. Brower Power, ooh, that rhymes, but double R on power, which is an incorrect spelling. You are British, correct. Do you or have you played cricket? I'm legit the only Dutch person you'll ever meet to play cricket. I challenge you for a net session. Wink smiley, cheeky. Do I play? I have played cricket. I mean, I teach it at school. I'm not a great cricketer, but I have played it a little bit and I do teach it. You are the only Dutch person I'll ever meet to play cricket. Okay, congratulations, well done. And the net, I mean, let's be honest, we're never gonna have a net session. It's not logistically possible, so I'm gonna discount that. Johnny Bream, in terms of a bulk, how important do you think macros really are? For example, if you followed macros to be in a 500 calorie surplus versus being in a 500 calorie surplus but via, okay, so what he's saying is, does it matter what macros you eat or are calories key? Okay, so in terms of a bulk, calories are by far the most important factor. You can eat brilliantly structured macros, but if you're not eating enough calories, you won't put on weight, you know? And conversely, if you're eating enough calories but your macros aren't great, you're still going to gain weight. So ultimately, calories are key. In an ideal world, you would eat a good macro ratio and you would eat good healthy foods. Of course you would, that's the no-brainer. But I say this to people all the time, if you're bulking and it gets to late in the evening and you haven't had enough food, then eating anything is better than eating nothing. You know, ultimately you need enough calories to bulk, otherwise it's not going to happen. Yeah. Master Tuber with a little underscore in there. What ages and subjects do you teach? I am a PE teacher, so I teach sport and I teach from the age of 11 to 18. Will_777. He's got a little picture of himself eating a burger, or pretending to eat it. It's right next to his face. Lots of striations in his neck. And he's wearing glasses and he's got a beard. Nice. And Will has got 3 L's in. Jesus. Greedy. What made you want to become a teacher? I've worked with schools for years. I used to be like an athletics coach and I've always worked in schools, and it just made sense that if I was in a school I might as well qualify as a teacher, because it's a good career and it's like even if you come out of it, you can always go back to it. After you're a qualified teacher, you've got that job anywhere around the world, you know, so it's a cool thing to do, and it's quite fun. Victor Hernandez with a 4 instead of an A. I'm all for that, numeric substitution. Have you ever had any injury issue while powerlifting? I mean, in your shoulder, knee joints, etc. I haven't had a bad one from powerlifting. I've had little niggles, so my back is, you know, I injure that in a minor way from time to time. Might get a little bit of knee soreness, but I've not had any serious injury from powerlifting at all, no. Tachini_Jimmy. Are you going to do another collab with Brian Turner, or is it Uncle Brian? I would love to. If Brian Turner wasn't such a dork and he came over to England, then we would live together and just hug all the time, and then we do loads of collabs. If I go back over there, of course, we'll do something, because we're best friends. S. Donnelly, 1996. How early would you suggest making a baby powerlift? I mean, I'm doing my research, and I would suggest 3 to 4 weeks. That's what I'm using anyway, so we'll see how that goes. Do you think it's better for bodybuilding whole body workouts mixed with active rest days, or upper body, lower body splits? In which frequency? 100% split it. If you do whole body workouts, the quality of the work you do later in the session is going to suck. So if you do like chest, back, and then arms, and then legs, by the time you get to arms and legs, you're knackered, and the quality is going to be awful unless you're training for like 5 hours, you know. So ultimately it's much better, and you're going to get much better results if you split it up 100%. And then which frequency? That varies, but definitely at least a couple of times a week. If you're training one body part or one lift once a week, that's not enough unless you are a complete beginner. Mitzvak. Cut or bulk first? That's a stupid question. Sorry, it depends on like where you are, you know. Oh my god, time and done. I feel bad, I'll do a couple more. Yeah, it depends where you are. If you're fat, then obviously don't bulk, cut. And if you're incredibly skinny, don't cut, bulk. Philip_Lindell, what is your workout split? Watch my training videos and you'll see. As I've just started a new one now, which I'll disclose in more detail as I get it solidified and I do it a little bit longer. And then the last question I'm going to answer from Grappler4Life_TD. Is it true that if you don't use it, you lose it? Yes, because I used to have a solid gold flute and I didn't use it and I lost it. I don't know where it is now, and that's quite valuable to me. So yes, is the answer to that question. And my friends, I'm going to leave it there because I'm hungry, and Luca is upstairs, and I feel bad, so I'm going to go and give him a little cuddle and talk to him and remind him that he's grounded for not answering my questions earlier on, and that is that. So I sincerely hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. If you have enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out, helps the channel out, helps you out, helps that random guy over there walking across the park. It's going to help him out as well in a way, because when you like the video, I'm going to run over to him and say, oh, they've liked my video, and he's going to be like, yes, that's awesome. So everyone's a winner. I'm thinking probably at the moment I'm gonna maybe go 2 videos a week, but it's I'll always consistently do that Sunday, full day of eating, so don't panic. But then other than that, I'll try and get 1, if not 2 videos up during the week if I can. But obviously, while I'm settling into a routine, training and Luca and life-wise, it might be a bit inconsistent. But like I said, I'll do as much as I can. So I'll always be around, don't panic, and I will see you tomorrow.